Ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new episode of the Space City Sports Talk Podcast.
H-Town's Trill Sports Talk Podcast.
Astros edition. I'm the host, Marco Alvarado, SCST Mar to be exact, alongside the co-host,
Corben Carter-Dixon here. What's up, people? And we are back. Your boys are back. The mics are back. We talking smack.
Bay, and Corb, SCST Corb to be exact. Baseball season is here.
The first day has went by and gone, and now we're on our second day of baseball. And I had a whole lot of thoughts after yesterday's game, and I know I can already, like Randy Orton's song says, I can hear voices in my head. I can definitely hear all the Astros critics in my head of like what happened yesterday.
A lot happened yesterday. I was there at the game. I'll tell you one thing for a fact. It was very packed. It's opening day.
Over 42,000 plus of what I heard.
And tonight's a Friday night game. I'll be going. At the time of this recording, we don't know what the series is going to play out with or how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you it's going to be close to a sellout because it's a Friday night and it's the second game of the series.
Most importantly, it's firework night.
Exactly. And then we still got the Saturday game and then the Sunday game.
And the Sunday game, which is mostly a day game. So, yeah.
Corb, we have a lot to discuss about our Local 9 here. But I don't know where to start, dude. If I'm being 100% honest with you, this is the start of baseball season. SCST thrived on the Astros whenever we first made this thing back in 2021.
And guess what? We're going to thrive off it. I said going to, not try. We're going to thrive off of this once again.
And that's not a statement. That's just a fact of life. Yeah. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Your starting pitcher yesterday was Framber Valdez. It would have been Justin Verlander, but he started the season on the IL, unfortunately.
With the shoulder inflammation.
And thank God it's not TJ, because if it was,
we can't go through it a second time.
We can't. We honestly can't.
I'll just be honest, just to like clear that up. You know, at the age that Verlander is, and you know, for all the naysayers out there, especially my old school people, aka the old heads, you know, people gonna say Nolan Ryan did it. Yes, Nolan Ryan did it until his elbow finally just collapsed, basically. But in this day and age, with the technology that we have, plus with the new, you know, with the healthcare, the way healthcare is and stuff like that, we have to really, like, you know, monitor Verlander's, you know, his stability, his health, in order for us to, at this point, to be honest with you, this is going to sting a little bit, but you don't have to rely on Verlander as much like you really want to anymore.
Unfortunate, yes, that's true.
Because that has to be a motivation in the locker room, especially with the young core pitchers, and taking teachings from him on how to stay on the game. Just stay on the game. That's really it, you know? I'm not saying get rid of Verlander. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is Verlander is just basically now the standard bearer in the locker room and basically the godfather to go to in case you need any type of advice of such in order for you to dominate the game. That's really it. But once again, thank God he's on the IL as for inflammation and not no Tommy John surgery. But to get to yesterday's game, I had mixed thoughts.
4-0 lead. The Astros blew a 4-0 lead. And you know what? What did I text you last night? About a certain pitcher who blew the lead. Who gave it up?
Ryan Presley.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to say nothing. You want to know why I saved it? I saved my comments for today is because I was not going to get into no argument with you about this.
What's there to argue about?
No, I'm just saying you and me have been arguing about this since COVID, basically, since 2020.
Since the pandemic season.
Pandemic season, we've been arguing this. You know, you've been right on some occasion, but you also been wrong. That's all I gotta say. That's the main thing I gotta say. Yes, Ryan Presley walked a guy and then blew the lead off of a pop-up fly to the outfield. I get it, and it's just one game. Yes, the velocity isn't there like it was last season. I mean, years past, whatever. But right now, Ryan Presley is right now just in a, you know.
Disprove my point. Prove my point. I will stand on two soapboxes and literally say this all freaking day that I was right. I was right. And you're not admitting it, but you need to admit it because I could tell on your face. If y'all could look at this, by the time, I wish we had a camera. Matter of fact, SCST, we will have a camera. We will film our podcast from now on whenever we get the equipment. Back to what I'm saying. All right, actually, no. Get back to me. That is an executive decision. That's an executive decision. Now, going back to the point that I'm saying right now. I think we've been
agreed on that, so we can actually, let the people see our facial expressions of the way
back to what I was saying,
go ahead, back to the point.
I was right. Even whenever he was in the closing role, he was still doing what he did yesterday, and it showed. That's why we had to go out and go get Josh Hader to be our solidified closer, which he did, closing at Antex, 3 up, 3 down, exit to your left. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, Mr. No Walk Hater.
Oh, but God forbid if Ryan Presley was still the closer. Oh,
I didn't. No, I'm not saying. No, I am not saying. Look, the closer role, that's gone. Let's go on it. I'm just gonna throw that out there. The Ryan Presley as the closer, that's gone.
I got some breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
I got Sunday and Monday's starting pitchers. Joe Espada just announced to the media right now as of this recording. JP France will start on Sunday, and Ronel Blanco will start against the Blue Jays on Monday.
I'll be honest, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I meant to say. Before, right before the season started, Ronel Blanco, after his last start against the Space City Cowboys, actually, in which, he had another kid. He had a kid, him and his wife, and also, he threw 10 strikeouts that same day, actually. So, and then once that was done, it was announced that he actually earned a starter position. So I was just curious on when he would start. That's it.
There you go.
But hey, I'll just go ahead and say this before we get back to the original subject. Ronel Blanco is going to be the rookie savior this year.
Okay.
And for everybody who probably might ask why you say rookie savior, each year, whether it's the Astros or anybody that's a contending team, there's always some sort of rookie savior to come out of nowhere that helps impact the team in no matter what shape or form, fashion of what it is. 2019, we had Yordan. Well, better yet, also 2019, we also had Jose Urquidy. 2022, base. We'll just go straight to 2022. Jeremy Pena was the impact rookie. Last year also it was also Hunter Brown. He had some shaky moments, but at the same time, he had an impact to take us a little bit further. This year, Ronel Blanco is the one for me to stand out. Oh, let me not even forget Salsa. Luis Garcia was also a savior for us. So we may not have the top 10 overall prospects and stuff like that, but for some reason we always find these unknown rookies out of the woodworks that just come out and provide an impact. So that's the main thing I gotta throw out there.
That's a bold statement.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it a hot take, but I'll say that
it's not like I said rookie of the year.
No. That would have been a hot take if you would have went that direction. But all I'm saying is that's a bold statement.
But at the same time, don't overshadow it.
And it's not an insult; it's just a fact of life.
I know.
Don't
overshadow that.
Yeah. Back to the topic at hand.
Mm-hmm.
I was right. And you know what? It only took one game in the 2024 season to just put the cherry on top and tie the bow as well. The Astros get a second closer. Everybody, who's going to be a closer? Who's going to be the closer? Josh Hader. Some people were upset about that. He should be the setup. And put up or shut up time. Who blows the lead and who comes in and gets 3 outs? 1, 2, 3 like that.
As
they should.
And besides, for the
boy, who do you know won the pony? Josh Hader. Who was right? Uncle Mar.
Yeah.
Oh, how you? What was that?
Yeah.
One more time?
Yeah.
Especially for the people that are listening in Germany.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you, Corb. That's all I wanted.
I'll just say this. Ryan Presley's time was coming. That's the main thing.
Oh.
No, I'm just talking from, just from a regrouping process, and age factor. I'm not making no excuses whatsoever. I just knew eventually, he ain't no spring chicken like that. So eventually it was going to be time to actually regroup and find somebody to actually take over that closer role in the future. Some thought it was going to be Brian Abreu automatically, but I'm the one that went out and said many years ago saying Josh Hader will be a Houston Astros.
Yes, and I can confirm that you did say that many moons ago.
Yes. And once again, Just like how I said in our last segment, with the Yankees in 76 and 77, that I feel like that story is going to be really redone again, basically.
I felt like the bats were doing justice yesterday.
And this is, to get to the offensive perspective of things.
I really do like how everything is lined up for us.
Because think about it. In the past, anytime a team would actually hit 5 to 6 runs on us, we'd be in a hole immediately. We had to climb out of it. This season, well, just based off, I'll be honest, it's just one game. But I can see there's a new approach to it. We're trying to actually get runs early.
Yeah. Because it didn't take until what? The first inning?
The first
right?
2 innings.
First 2 innings?
Within the first 2 innings. And you had bases loaded.
Jake Meyer started it off with a rocket to the Crawford boxes.
I'm just gonna keep my take clean on this one, but Jake Myers wanted to pimp that home run so badly.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's like saying y'all not leaving me out this season.
I felt like I could feel the new aura that the Astros have.
Mm-hmm.
And when I aura, the aura, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like Rick James type aura. Remember in the Dave Chappelle thing? The Astros have a new aura. I could tell they have new energy, and it's because of the new manager that they have, Joe Espada. He really changed the culture. He really did. We were used to the culture that Dusty Baker set since 2020. We were used to that for about a cool 3 years. Granted, we won one of those years.
Yeah,
and we saw success. We went to the World Series multiple times.
And we failed. So
okay, that's fine.
At the same time, that championship, still matters. That's the main thing.
Maybe had a World Series hangover last season.
Still got to the ALCS.
Okay, that's fine. Also, did you see the Dallas Rangers championship banner? It looks like a damn bed sheet. Did Fanatics make that?
It felt like a replica version.
Hey, our banner is solid
gold,
solid steel.
Yeah, solid steel. And it's like, and matter of fact, just to pour it on, we got 2 of them bad boys.
Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Your first championship banner, and it's like white cloth. At least do it like
something special. I mean, something special.
Blue and gold.
Something I don't.
Blue and gold, maybe a little bit of red. A powder blue would have been tough. I ain't gonna lie, but.
Although you probably stealing from us again, but it is what it is. I mean, congratulations, but
the Astros are still projected to be better than that. Oh man, did they win yesterday? Did the Rangers win yesterday?
They won off of a Jonah Heim walk-off.
Oh God, okay.
Against the Cubs, by the way.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
I just had to throw that in there. So I mean,
listen, we have Chicago ties, but I still love. I love them. I got love for them.
Mm-hmm. Now the biggest hiccup. Well, I shouldn't even say the biggest hiccup.
I'll tell you the one biggest hiccup. But don't let me get started on that.
I already know where you're gonna go with your biggest hiccup, which comes to the 7th inning. But let's just keep it real and how it really's going.
Well, before you get there, dude, the strike zone was awful yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw the umpire card. The umpire grading card. Actually,
yeah.
There was like shoot. I counted looks like almost 8 to 9 misses and only 1 got right.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was just like, I said, is the strike zone? I said,
good Lord.
Matter of fact, right here.
We have it up here. Okay, so the official MLB umpiring grade, would you call it a grade card?
Yeah, report card, grading card, yeah.
This is from @UmpScorecards, courtesy of www.umpscorecards.com. This ain't PWP, Mark, come on. This is for the Thursday 03/28/2024 game, which was from yesterday. James Hoy was the umpire behind the plate for the Astros and Yankees game that took place at 3 p.m. Central. That was streamed on national television via ESPN Plus.
I'll be honest, James Hoy does sometimes throw me off sometimes with his calling. I'll be honest. Sometimes he be calling outside things that are, a strike and it's not a strike.
Overall accuracy, 94%. Relative accuracy, negative 0.3%. Below expected. That's half fewer correct calls than the average umpire. There was a plus 0.2 runs for New York. New York minus 0.43. Houston was a minus 0.45. Overall consistency was 92%. The average is 94. 11 called balls inside and then 3 called strikes outside. And then if it gives us a little graphic here, all missed calls with a true zone and estimated ump zone, which is the EUZ. That's a lot of red that we're looking at.
A lot of that was a lot of a lot of balls that could have been called basically.
Impactful missed calls, which is significant. No, well, it's highlighted. Yeah, highlighted by the largest changes in run expectancy. Number 2.2 was the bottom of the 8th. Hamilton to Diaz, 1 out, bases empty, 3-0 count. Ball is called a strike. That would have been a man on base.
Yes.
2.1 was the top of the 7th. Presley to Trevino, 2 outs, runners on first and second, 1-0 count. Ball is called a strike. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
And then the top of the 5th, Valdez to Judge, 0 outs, bases loaded, 0-0 count. Ball is called a strike. So it looks like majority of these calls were just missed.
Yeah, apparently he ain't got his blinders on, so, he need a new prescription, so,
Called ball accuracy was 99%, which was the average 97%. 1 out of 115 called balls were true strikes. And then the called strike accuracy was 83% when the average is 88%. 10 out of 58 called strikes were called true balls.
The evidence is right here, y'all. I don't know about you, but I read this stuff a lot, anytime a game is over sometimes, because I just feel like our best game where everything was called right is still Game 6 of the World Series in 2022. That was the best umpire calling, officiating, I think, in our time. So, but overall, just to get into detail of it, just by looking at the pitching, did you ever like go to the park where you actually, sat on the teeter-totter and it would just go rock up and back and forth and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's what I thought of with Fromber, basically. He was teeter-tottering between 2022 and 2023. It's like when he was on, he was on. I thought, nothing was wrong whatsoever. But it was the walk, it was the command that was killing me, as a fan. I was just like, God dog, I'm like, how many times did you miss? The man had 6 walks. Career high 6 walks, y'all.
But I'll tell you one thing, whenever he got out of the jam, he got out of it.
Oh, of course, yeah. The ground ball god, of what I would call him. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's one thing, but it's them small little calls, or miscommand or command on the ball that he missed, which caused all those walks. And I'm just like, dang, I said I want to be mad at Fromber, but I can't be mad.
I'll tell you one thing, the Astros jumped all over
Nestor Cortez. Mr.
33 pitches in the first inning.
Mr. Shimmy himself. Yeah.
Not my problem.
I know. And knowing, in the past, sometimes we struggle with him, but I just sometimes still ask myself every time we face him, I'm like, I said, okay, how is he really getting us out? Stuff like that. I'll be honest, we should have scored 10 runs yesterday. I'll be honest, straight up. 10
I'll tell you
runs.
one thing, we didn't leave that many people on base as we usually do. We didn't. We
didn't. We didn't. We really didn't.
Nope. Your thoughts on the game as a whole yesterday, Corb?
Obviously, bad impression. I'll say that for sure. The most questionable thing that I thought I had was the John Singleton pinch hitting for.
That was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of suspect.
It was so early.
It was
so early.
Everybody wanted Dubon in that place.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Joe Espada did. I mean, John Singleton did say, at one point, and Espada, they both announced that during their post game, in which mainly based on the data in which they presented, Singleton is like during this point he would pinch hit during this moment.
Right.
I'll just say, I know people want to jump on Joe Espada immediately saying why did you do that? Well, guess what? He's not the one that's getting on that field swinging the bat. Singleton was put in a position for him to succeed, and apparently he missed the opportunity. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have Dubon, because I think Dubon is a little bit more of a better accurate hitter. Singleton is too, but it's just, he's still, to me, getting his, still trying to get his legs back, after taking so much time from the league and stuff like that. That's all it is. That's all it is to me. But there was also one play I thought that, that could have, at least got us out of, early. It was when that ball had rolled to Alex Bregman. That one right there, I was just like, I said, dang, you could have at least went for it, But the Astros overall gave up 9 walks. That's the one thing that was very concerning to me. Now,
let me ask you this. The pitcher that came in relief for Fromber was Seth Martinez.
Yes, with Seth Martinez.
Was that the right call? And if it wasn't, what pitcher would you have put in that predicament?
Oh, man. And you and me did talk about that, too, because we had several candidates for that. Me, to be honest, I know he can be a headache sometimes, but I would have put Montero in that situation. I would have put Montero in that situation for the sick. Was it the yeah? I thought Fromber should have finished the 5th. I think he could have finished the 5th, to be honest with you, because you would have had a clean slate. And I would have probably went with Montero in the 6th, Seth Martinez in the 7th. Then Ryan Presley in the 8th.
As he should, because he's a setup man.
He's more of a setup man, yes.
And if stuff would have hit the fan, oh, hello, Brian Abreu, how you doing?
He didn't hit him. He didn't intentionally hit him. I'm still standing by that. I don't care what anybody say. He wasn't trying to hit him. But, yes, you just brought up my main point of what I was saying. The reason why, in my opinion, everything fell off as far as, like, the bullpen goes, other than Hader, is the fact that Brian Abreu is not in the road, in the bullpen, due to the 2-game suspension that he hit Adolis Garcia last season. So, period. But you got one more game, to be without Abreu, and then he'll be back possibly
Sunday.
He'll be back, Saturday. Today Friday.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be back Saturday, basically. So, we'll see how that goes and see what, Joe Espada comes up with. Jordan impressed me at, playing in the 2 spot, for the first time. And
he got the first hit for the season.
He got the first hit, yes. We didn't see the, crazy power crazy power yet. It's coming. Jose Altuve, I believe, went 1 for 4 yesterday. And don't get me wrong, this is Altuve we talking about. I'm not really mad,
I called it yesterday. He was going to be so aggressive.
Yes.
Of his at bat.
And to be honest with you, this is why I feel like the main person that I can really compare Altuve to as far as like being aggressive early is the man that wore 7 for this team, and that's Craig Biggio. Craig Biggio was that, it's like as that ball goes, they go. Period. That, and you can live and die with it, basically. So but they're always pinpoint accurate, on where they're gonna hit, when they're gonna hit. So, Altuve gonna be Altuve, Jordan gonna be Jordan. Speaking of people that can hit, Yanier Diaz impressed me. He had 3 hits yesterday. We finally got a catcher that can hit.
Oh, ha ha! I don't know why you're looking at me whenever you said that.
It's not you. It's a whole bunch of people that I talk to outside of the podcast, outside of SCST, that be trolling Maldi all the time. I'm just like, dude, it was just veteranship in which you have to establish the pecking order. He was at the top of the pecking order for the, yes, I couldn't stand Maldi being at the doggone play, because sometimes I'd be saying to myself, oh, God, can you just pinch hit for him, just to, like, get some at-bats for Yanier Diaz, but Yanier Diaz is gonna have a terrific season. He's gonna be a top 5 catcher this season. I really do believe it. I really do. Just have to control, the strike zone. That's all it is. The strike zone, everything just threw everything off, really, for me. But what was your overall thing from the game, Marco? I'll really let you, speak your mind.
The bats did what they had to do. They did. Mm-hmm. They prevailed. Mm-hmm. When we really needed it, the Yankees just got 3 outs, plain and simple. But when push comes to shove, overall, the Astros were making contact, and they're putting the ball in play more times than we can ever expect. And that's something you can ask for, and all you can do is just build off of it. Granted, it was the first game, and how they lost was stupid, but there's 161 games left, because it is a 162 game season.
I mean, if you think about it, the only reason why the Yankees really got the scores that they got was mainly through walks.
Exactly.
I mean,
the only thing that concerns me is our relief. That's all. That's what's really getting to me right now.
And I'll just be real specific. It's the leverage spot in the 6th inning for me. That's it.
Don't be surprised if we go after somebody come trade deadline. I see
won't.
a lot of pieces within our bullpen that can be moved just for like
chump change.
Not well, I wouldn't call it chump change, but I feel like we're gonna get a really
underrated guys,
really good bullpen reliever. If push comes to shove, I feel like Seth Martinez will be up for grabs. Rafael Montero will be up for grabs.
I just want to dump the contract, really. That's the main thing for me, but you get the point.
But I honestly, I can't blame Montero too much because he had, just like every other pitcher, he has to adapt to the new rules. If we were back before the clock and before all the rule changes and everything, back whenever we were used to just straight baseball.
Adapt to the new rules. Y'all had time to adapt to the new rules all last year. You ain't got over it yet.
Time out. Remember, they implemented all those rules after we won the World Series.
Yes, they did.
So we had a shortened off season. So a lot of people had a bunch of time. Mind you, since probably October, the very 1st of October, they had time to just reconnect, go back to the drawing board, be like, okay,
take some time off and recover. Yeah.
Astros were so up in the media and stuff, like, bro, like, when was the time they had to work? Like, and that was one of my concerns going into last season, going into this past season, was watch. We won a World Series, we're not going to be like how we used to. Watch. And we roughly had the same roster as well. Yeah.
I think that's really how it's always been for us, really, ever since this almost decade of dominance, a.k.a. the golden era. I just feel like every time, when we either get to a World Series or even win a World Series, the next year it's like, it feels like the same approach, but then it's like we just get to the ALCS and then boom, done. And it's always, you always have to like regroup, and basically this is our third manager change
in the last
2 years. No, wait, ever since 2020, so like 4 years. Yeah, 4 years.
Because Dusty was here 2020 through 2023.
Yes.
And here we are. So you kind of see what I'm getting at here.
Yes.
Is it an excuse? No.
No. We're just pointing out the facts.
Does it play a factor in a lot of things? 100%.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
And that's why I'm not going to jump on Joe Espada immediately for what he did.
But at the end of the day, you still have to make contact with the ball, and you still got to get runners across home plate in order to score, in order to win games.
Speaking of getting runners across home plate, how do you feel about that Mauricio Dubon sending him home?
He was safe.
Thank you.
He was safe.
Because I kept replaying.
There was one angle that
looked like Trevino didn't even touch him.
Exactly. And he didn't touch him. But there was no clear evidence from the original stance, which I understand from an umpire standpoint. You got to have clear evidence. It wasn't that clear on the angle, but to the naked eye, it looked like he was out. And if you freeze frame it from whenever Trevino's reaching out and Dubon's sliding,
basically looked
hands
like
on home plate.
Basically looked like he barely touched him.
But his hand is already on home plate.
Yeah. And plus it's like, I can't say, do you think he was blocking the plate? Because I don't think he was really like blocking the plate. Because knowing a runner coming home, obviously he's going to try to slide around you. So I'm like,
I mean, they challenged for blocking at the plate, and they challenged for the calling on
for the calling. Yeah,
right. Now if there was blocking at the plate, that would have been a whole different story. But yes, to your point, it's basic baseball. The runner's going to come to home. He's going to try to avoid the catcher at a close play, so he's going to weave to the side.
I personally don't think he was out. Really,
no,
I know you don't either. But I'm just saying.
And I'm saying this from a non-biased standpoint. I don't think he was out. There were Yankee fans by me that were like, yeah, he's not out. There's no way. And boy, were we wrong, apparently.
Yeah, the umpires were wrong, in my opinion, yeah.
But it is what it is. It's one game. We got a whole season to go for.
Basically.
Anything else you want to say about the Astros, Corb?
Don't let one game get you down, basically, because if you're gonna be down like that, you're probably gonna be down the whole season.
Yeah, the Astros are relentless. Baseball's back in Houston. Catch SCST out there, literally, and keep it locked in for your Space City Sports Talk Astros coverage. We're getting active out here, folks.
It's gonna be a long season, people. That's all I can say. And knowing this time around with baseball season, we're the most active, so we're gonna be active almost every week. until October.
And that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life.
All facts, no caps.
This has been SCST Astros. I'm Marco Alvarado.
I'm Corben Carter-Dixon.
We'll see y'all next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.